numpty. Hi, welcome to the Bench Movie Club. I'm Lily.
Charlie.
And in today...
Oh no, Frankenstein's monster. Who never gets a name, does he?
No, he does not.
Yeah, Sam Order. Wait.
What do you want?
Frankenstein, 2025, directed by Guillermo del Toro, who done Pan's Labyrinth and Hellboy. You seen Pan's Labyrinth?
Yeah, I've seen Pan's Labyrinth.
What's that for? You weren't happy about it? Yeah. Oh, that's what you should have drawn on your hat. No, we'll do a Pan's Labyrinth podcast. And
Why would I have done that for a Frankenstein podcast?
That would be good. I'm going to do that. We're going to do Pan's Labyrinth podcast.
What, we're just going to draw
just eyes? So I can do that. I can go. It stars Oscar Isaac, who's in Moon Knight, and inside Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen. He's 5'8".
Is he?
Mm.
Interesting.
It is interesting. I'll get the reason I'll mention that in a minute. And Jacob Elordi, who plays the monster in this, he's in Saltburn and The Kissing Booth 2 and 3.
And the first one.
Was he in the first one?
Yeah.
I don't think he was. Was it? Maybe he was. Yeah.
Begrudgingly, I've watched them all, so yes, he was.
Why did you watch them?
Because it's stupid teen drama, and I was 13, so I thought I'd watch them.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Was he sexy? He's 6'5".
I know, he's very tall.
Which I like what they've done with the casting, as in they're sticking Frankenstein quite short and his monster getting a really tall actor, because then it looks more like it in the original book, because in the original book, obviously, the monster's
ginormous. Yeah.
Unlike the 90s Mary Shelley's Frankenstein with Kenneth Branagh and Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro's only like 5'9" himself, 5'8", playing the monster. You've got Christoph Waltz, who's also very short. I think he's about 5'6".
Yeah.
You know who he is, don't you?
He's
the one with the golden shoes in this. The one who's...
Yeah, no, I was going to say he's an Inglourious Bastards, right?
Yes.
Oh.
And No Time to Die.
Yeah.
He was Blofeld, wasn't he? Yes. And yeah, he's again. I liked how they surrounded the monster with a bunch of short people, mainly. You got Mia Goth, who's in Pearl, and Maxine.
Yeah, I know.
You got Charles Dance playing their dad. You recognise him from hundreds of things, don't you?
Yeah.
He's in Last Action Hero, Golden Child, Alien 3, Game of Thrones. He's that go-to sort of British villain type actor. And you've also got a small part for Ralph Ineson. You know when they're doing the court and you've got the three judges, he's the one in the middle going, "You shouldn't be blah blah blah." He was Galactus in Fantastic Four. He was in Nosferatu as well.
Oh, really?
Do you remember William Dafoe's mate, who's also a doctor, who's really tall?
Yes.
Yeah, he was in that.
Yeah.
But he's most known for playing Chris Finch in The Office.
Right, here he is, Chris Finch. Is it Hamlet, or is it Macbeth, or is it Leo?
Well, maybe I'll write the questions next time and you can have this fat bastard on the other side.
Banter.
No, it's not banter.
It's not banter, not now.
So, what's the story, Lil?
Well, Victor is a surgeon, but his main pursuit is a scientist to surpass death in a way to create his masterpiece, which is his creation, and it ultimately goes wrong. Are you wanting me to explain the book or the film?
Well, it's much the same, isn't it? What's the difference between the book and the film?
It's actually very different.
Oh, really?
Yeah, first of all, I'll say, did you like the film?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
No.
So what's the difference between the book and the film?
What I want to say first is, I also really, really enjoyed this film. I think it was a really good adaptation, but it wasn't it was not true to the novel in so many ways, and so I enjoyed it as a separate entity, I would say.
So what's different?
So, for example...
Third time.
We're not going to cut that out, aren't you? Anyway.
Thought I was the monster.
No. Well, in the novel, Elizabeth's actually betrothed to Victor in the first place.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Little while since I've read the novel, so this might be a bit patchy, so you can correct this in editing if I'm wrong. But
I'm not going to research.
his
You get it wrong, you get it wrong.
okay, it's been a while since I've read it. Okay, so before I say, but from what I remember, I believe that Elizabeth was actually like an adopted daughter. She wasn't like related at all at first, but she still ended up being betrothed to Victor. So she
Okay.
was like part of the family in an extent, but they weren't related, so it doesn't really make it too weird, but it is still weird. What else? There isn't as much like that character played by Christoph Waltz. He's not in the laboratory like as much as he is like at all.
Right.
Like it's always just Victor in complete isolation.
Okay.
And not just that, they completely cut another character out of it who is Victor's best friend.
Yeah.
Or like closest confidant, who like is constantly out there trying to like help Victor to an extent. Not just that, none of them, like his brother William and Elizabeth, they never see the monster or the creation at all up until, spoiler alert, in the novel he kills Elizabeth, the monster. The monster kills Elizabeth because when he goes to Victor to make him a bride or whatever, Victor initially agrees to do it, and he begins building it, and she's basically complete. But that's when he has his moment, like, no, this is wrong, I can't do this. And so when the monster comes to collect his bride, he destroys her and doesn't give him to her. So then the monster's like, well, I'll come for you on your wedding night, or something like that. And he assumes he's going to kill him, but in reality he kills his wife, Elizabeth. And then that's when they start hunting him to the ends of the earth.
Okay.
Not
Which
just
makes
that.
sense.
Victor gets imprisoned because of the death of his brother.
Okay.
And he's trialed, but because of it seems like he's like a lunatic. And also his father doesn't die at that point. He's actually got a quite close bond with his father in the novel.
Right. Those
So
are loads of differences.
yeah, and when he's trialed, it's like a big point of contrast, like for feminism in a kind of way as well, because there's another woman who gets trialed for something else or something similar, and she ends up being murdered because she apparently committed the crime that she didn't commit, whereas Victor, who did commit the crime, well, he didn't, his monster did.
Yeah.
He's like kept as like alive,
Yes.
basically. There's a lot more differences that I can think of, but those are like some really glaring ones that made this entire thing. I mean, there's a lot of similarities, like the way that they chaptered the film is somewhat similar, except so it's the prologue where you meet the captain and he talks to Victor. Victor tells his tale, and then at the heart goes back to it goes to the monster and his perception, and then it goes back to Victor again, and it tells like the ending bit, and then it gets to them back on the boat again.
Right.
And also another thing, the monster. I don't believe the monster. No, that is right. I think he does get on board the ship, but I can't really remember
I think
it.
he does because I know in the old Mary Shelley's one, got him on the ship.
But it's either way. There's so many glaring differences that does make this film like almost a completely different entity. Which
but I mean the thing is, have you seen the old Universal Frankenstein, Boris Karloff?
No, but again,
that is completely different. Again, that doesn't involve all half the stuff that you said. It's very sort of streamlined because films back then were so much shorter, and it's got like the famous "He's alive, alive." Weird Science. Weird Science, of course, being influenced by.
Yeah, I think.
Sorry, just realised. Oh.
Right.
So why have I changed the picture in the background to RoboCop or RoboCop's crutch?
I don't know.
Because that was also influenced by Frankenstein, obviously, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a man made of pieces put together and then hunted at one point.
Yeah.
You know.
But...
What the hell is that?
I didn't like
I swear to the advert finishes. It freaked me out.
Why is there?
I don't know. The cow ran towards me. I said no ads. Right. Guillermo del Toro, he wanted to make this. This was one of his favourite stories ever.
Yeah.
He loved Frankenstein story. He wanted to make it immediately after he made a Pinocchio film
Oh, really?
a couple of years ago, 2022. The reason being, he sees them as two different sides of the same coin. Which you think, in a way, Geppetto makes this creature comes alive.
I do.
But it's like a happy version of.
I do want to say just quickly. I know I already said this, but I did like this film a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, like there's been some other Guillermo del Toro films that I haven't liked. Like, what was it, The Shape of Water?
Oh, the one with the fish man.
Yeah, that I didn't like. I thought that was not really
It's a bit weird.
Yeah.
I think it'd been better if they took out the sex bit in it.
It was just really uncomfortable.
They could have made it just a romantic story, but it hasn't got to be consummated.
Yeah.
But you was looking forward to this. We went to Bath. Was it Bath? We went to earlier this year. And we went to the Frankenstein Museum.
Oh, yeah.
Mary Shelley was born Mary Wollstonecraft Godwin on 30th of August 1797 in Somerstown, London. The daughter of writer and activist Mary Wollstonecraft and philosopher and political writer William Godwin. Mary never knew her mother. Wollstonecraft died 11 days after giving birth from purpura fever, a bacterial infection of the reproductive tract caught from the unwashed hands of her doctor.
I think it was definitely it was a good attempt at the original story. I don't know if it was meant to be an attempt at the original story.
Well, yeah, it's clearly meant to be. It's the thing is, the one in the 90s, which I think is like 94, was because of the success of Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah.
So obviously they thought, well, what other ones? There's Frankenstein. No, let's put Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. So we're saying this is exactly like the book kind of thing. But the film itself, not as sort of good as the Bram Stoker's Dracula, which is a great film. And then they couldn't think of one for Wolfman, so they just done Wolf, like a modern telling with Jack Nicholson, which was okay. But anyway, I don't know the original source material, but what I did enjoy the film. I felt aesthetically it looked great.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the score and all the sound design in the film. I thought it was really effective. I liked the story as well because I liked the idea that it looked like it was going one way. It looked like, him and his brother's fiance are going to start having an affair. I like the fact that she rejected it.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, I don't want to. I've made my decision kind of thing. And he finds that hard to cope with. So that's like contributes to his madness.
Yeah.
And how it shows Frankenstein being the real monster.
Yeah.
And also, this is another, which probably a creative choice for Del Toro. Frankenstein's dad, how he's made the decision to make him an abusive father.
Yeah.
You know, physically hurting his son when he doesn't learn. So this then transfers to when Frankenstein is with the monster, he's hitting the monster because he's not satisfied how the monster's learning. But in many ways, he doesn't do it as sort of measured as what his dad did. His dad sort of had set rules, goes, right, well done, you've learnt this. He doesn't have the patience his dad had.
No.
Or it's implied his dad had, because his dad got fantastic results making Victor a genius.
Yeah. I think that the way that this film portrays it is good, because it does stay quite true in that respect to the source material, because obviously it's clear that realistically the monster's not really a monster, he's just misunderstood. But I really think that it could have benefited from more reference to Milton's Paradise Lost, because that was actually a very big part of the original novel, because when they're back in the Alps, like discussing or like talking to each other, the monster and Victor, the monster says, "I ought to have been thy Adam," and there's like a whole thing where the monster talks about how he's so like he really connects. He really connects to both Adam in the Bible and
Paradise Lost.
But he also connects to the fallen angel, so Satan, in some ways, because of the way that he is so discarded. And I think that more references like that would have made it a bit truer, and I would have liked that a bit more.
Well, it's got quite a long running time as well, though. 2.5
Yeah.
hours, and I mean, it didn't. To its credit, it didn't necessarily feel like 2.5 hours.
No, I went through it and I thought it was only about 2.
Yeah, and I enjoyed it a lot more than say Nosferatu, which
Yeah.
we reviewed about a year ago, didn't we?
No, it's just this. It was January this year.
Oh, okay. 10 months ago. Sorry, 2 months off. I felt it moved at a fairly decent pace. I thought the cast were great. They all sort of delivered. They weren't really a weak link in the cast.
No,
I don't think. Although
yeah.
saying that, Jacob Elordi,
Yeah.
he didn't have a lot of time because he replaced someone else.
Who did he replace?
Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield was meant to be.
Yeah, Andrew Garfield was
wow.
originally cast as the monster, but dropped out due to conflicting schedules. And the makeup team had spent 9 months crafting Garfield's look, but had only a few weeks to remake it for Elordi. So, which I knew before I went in to see the film, and I looked at his makeup. I felt that Jacob Elordi's face, in a way, was too pretty. You know, I felt as if they could have done more to sort of disfigure his face, maybe. Sort of do it in a way as if one eye is slightly higher on his face.
Well, no, because in the original novel, he made this because he was trying to make this perfect man.
Right.
And when he was picking the pieces from the bodies, because again, it's not like the war thing, he just gets body pieces. And he was trying to make this beautiful, perfect man. And originally, before it's animated, he thinks, oh my God, this creature is so beautiful. But as soon as it's animated, that's when he thinks, oh my God, it's so ugly and it's wrong.
Well, it'd been good if they'd done that in the film. If they'd noted that, had something where he said, yes, I want a beautiful face or something like that. Yeah, I mean, as I said, I'm happy with the size of the thing. I think there was 1 or 2 times when it was unintentionally funny. You know, something would happen, you'd go, well, that looks a bit, that's a bit cheesy, or that's a bit funny how that's happened. Like even the bit where he's escaping the fire and he slides down the slide. It looks like he's surfing, you know.
Yeah, but
there's a few moments like that, and when the other thing, I weren't entirely sold on the CGI animals. I felt there was too many CGI animals. I could understand the wolves to an extent because it's hard to sort of you wouldn't be able to train wolves to sort of fight someone like that. The best you could do is get Alsatian sort of dogs or something, and they wouldn't look as good. But things like rats running about and crows, I looked and I thought that's clearly CGI. That's clear, and if I can spot it now, in a couple of years, it'll be even more obvious. I felt some of that was unnecessary. I think I'd rather they just stuck a bunch of real rats, trained rats, and spent more patience shooting to try and get the right moment. Oh, that's a good moment, and that rat ran over him. You know, choice bits of editing, but instead they just shot what they needed and then added in post. And
I just wanted to touch on the fact I was actually so shocked by Jacob Elordi's performance in this film because I personally don't think of him as like a great actor. Like I think I thought he was a bit nothingy. He didn't really.
Or in the Kissing Booth.
Well, yeah, in those films he's a bit nothingy, and I seen parts of Saltburn and it was like okay.
Yeah.
But I never thought of his performance. Like he always plays this kind of like pretty boy thing, and so the way that he managed to make himself as like the monster, like his more like animalistic movements or like babyish movements, like were really well done, which I was really surprised by.
Yeah.
And his general performance was actually really shockingly good.
Yeah, I know that he spent a lot of time learning this sort of it's like a Japanese body movement thing that looks unhuman. He was sort of learning that, and also I think it was Mongolian throat singing, so that they can do like lower his sort of vocal timbre. So there was loads of bits, especially when he was first created. I remember distinctly thinking, like leading up to the point where he comes alive. I was really happy with the film. I was thinking, this is good. I like the everything about the film so far. And when he came alive, which is obviously a big deal because it's pretty much all about him as much as it is Frankenstein, I felt again he just looked very boyish kind of thing. But then thinking, but what could you do about that? Because they're going to have him practically naked anyway. But it was unintentionally humorous. That's what I'm mentioning. Like
I
when
bet he
someone's
is
running
meant to
about.
look. He is meant to look the way that he looks. I
Yeah.
think that depiction. I mean, obviously, we saw at the museum the way that it would be directly the same, which I think. Obviously, like for example, yeah, he's quite lanky, which isn't how you normally depict the monster. But I didn't mind that depiction because I feel like having him be this, like, yeah, he's inhumanely strong, but having this like almost scrawny thing.
Yeah.
That is discarded in such a way, I feel like that's more sympathetic.
Yeah, see, the thing is, before we got to see him like that, we saw him at the very beginning, which I liked the action sequences. I liked the bit where he's killing the sailors and like punching their heads. It really shows off his strength. But where he's wearing all those laser jackets, it makes him look even bigger. That interpretation of him, I thought, yeah, that would be scary, someone that big coming after you. But yeah, when he comes alive and he's like this big, he's standing at the end of his bed. That again, so you're laughing.
Yeah, it was mildly humorous.
Yes.
In some ways, but not because it was funny, but because like it's just strange. What's that?
That's a rat. Yeah, no, but I mean, overall, as I said, I was happy with it. I think there was a tiny bit of a lull at some points. I was thinking, it's losing me a little bit here, but it'd literally be for like a scene. I think, don't. And it all comes down to editing, making sure things are cut out. But I think he's done an excellent job, Del Toro. It's clearly a passion project.
Yeah.
He spent a lot of time on it.
I will say, I'm not. I feel like this is relevant because obviously, so Jacob Elordi's next project.
Wuthering Heights.
Yeah, and I don't think he's well suited to play Heathcliff.
But why? Because I know there's a movement at the moment. People go, no, it shouldn't be him. But I think it should be him. So tell me why it shouldn't be him.
I just don't know. I mean, granted, it's more because I don't. It's the same thing I was saying before about him as an actor. I don't know if
fair enough.
Yeah. What? We're not going to go into whatever you're relating.
No, we
to.
are. But
No,
anyway,
I don't
go
want.
on.
I would like not to, please.
Why are you making such a big deal of it? I'm saying I thought it was going to be about, because loads of people saying he doesn't look the part of Heathcliff.
Right.
But I think he does look the part of Heathcliff because his parents, I think he's born in Australia.
Yeah.
And his parents are of Iberian descent.
Mm-hmm.
So like from Spain. So he's that very dark Mediterranean look, which is kind of how Heathcliff is supposed to look. But some people misinterpret the books and think, no, he's supposed to be mixed race, but he's not actually. And then, but because of that, because people have their dream casting in their head, oh, you should put this person on this person, they decide to get outraged with his casting. After seeing him in Saltburn, which I thought he was fine, I haven't seen the Kissing Booth films. I'll check them out on your recommendation. And after seeing him in this, I think he could make a good Heathcliff. A tall, dark, handsome man, and that's what Heathcliff's supposed to be.
You think he's handsome?
Yeah, I think he's handsome. He's not ugly.
No.
And all you have to do is stick uglier people around him, and it will make him seem more attractive.
I am joking. I was just making a joke about you being attracted to Jacob Elordi. I will say I liked the casting of Oscar Isaac though in this.
Oh,
film.
you fancy Oscar Isaac?
Yeah.
No, I think.
Yeah,
I mean, there's times where he's not English, but he's doing an English accent like he done in Moonlight. But it seems like the dialect itself sort of goes all over the place a little bit. But you can excuse that because of his upbringing.
Yeah.
Because where is he born again? Wasn't he like in France or something to start off with?
Yes.
Or Germany?
Geneva.
Oh, okay, yeah. So he's first born on mainland Europe, and he's clearly, and his mother's influence, so he knows different languages. I thought she unintentionally looked a little bit weird, because I know it's supposed to be when he sees her, he's like, oh, she's beautiful, but because of her very faint eyebrows. I
will also say this is an interesting thing. Did you know that Mia Goth plays his mum in this as well?
Oh, does she?
Yeah.
I didn't notice. Which
I think is actually quite an interesting point for the story, because I feel like then it's meant to seem almost as if it's like this hidden attraction because of the fact that
she reminds because he clearly loved his mum more than his dad, and it was traumatic losing her. So it makes sense if he sees a woman who reminds him of his mum that he would automatically be attracted to that person.
Yeah.
You know. Again, I'm glad that it never, because he was quite devious in the way that he's making his brother stay at the lab while he goes off and gallivants about with her. I thought Christoph Waltz would make more of a point saying something along the lines of, you've got to put your work first over your attraction to this woman. Similar, again, to Whiplash, like where he sort of dumps his girlfriend to pay more attention to his work. So I'm glad the love angle didn't sort of get tangled up so much. Which is a bit out of order when he went and apologised to her.
Yeah, slapped him.
Yeah, you think well, I suppose he did kill the monster, and she sort of had a weird attraction to the monster.
That's also not in the film. Not in the film, sorry, in the novel. That's not something that happens in the novel. He just kills her in the novel.
No. Does he kill a little girl in the novel?
I believe so. I can't really remember.
Because I remember that being quite traumatic in the old Universal
I don't think he actually did. Granted, again, I've read this about a year and a half ago, so it's a bit vague.
Yeah.
No, I don't know, but it was.
Well, when I watched the old Boris Karloff one, I remember that scene was quite upsetting because there's a bit where he goes down to like the riverbank and there's a girl picking flowers, which there's something like that in this, someone picking flowers. And I thought, oh, this is going to lead up. Then when he's on the farm, I thought he'd end up killing the little girl because in that film, it's like she chucks something in the river or something like that, and he thinks it's all fun. And he picks her up and chucks her in the river, and she drowns.
Also, as well, this just reminded me those when he's like in the shed next to the house.
Yeah.
That whole bit where like he's hunted by those hunters temporarily, that doesn't happen in the book. That he just finds this hut and stays there and observes because it's warm or sheltered or whatever. And he does still wait until the family goes away to go talk to the old man, but the old man doesn't get mauled to death in the novel.
But I mean that's
it's
a bit convenient. The other thing I was thinking about that when they go away and they leave the old blind man on his own. If the monster wasn't there and the old blind man's just sort of living in his hut on his own, how is he supposed to look after himself anyway?
I know.
How's he going to harvest new food? How's he going to travel to the store and get stuff? You know, it's not like they've got Uber Eats and stuff like that.
No, but what I was trying to say was, all that happens is he becomes friends with the old man every time the family goes away to go do something, and they come back again, he hides again, and he gets caught, and then he gets chased away, and but like, it isn't as like heartbreaking because of the fact that like he's just been killed, the old man. So he just turns to anger because he's like, why is it that everyone who can see me is so repulsed by me?
Yeah.
And
see, that message is lost in the film, I think, because and the other thing is, I said this to you while I was watching the film. I felt as if the old man knew he was there before he sort of introduced himself, because he's looking through the thing, and the old man's got great hearing. I think he knew this big monster was on the wall behind him because he's showing a card to the girl. He's saying, look, A, and then so all the monster could see was the back of it, and then he'd turn it round and say, and again. So she says it again, A, while the monster's looking at the A. I felt as if he's teaching her at the same time he's teaching the monster. I
don't think it was meant to be like.
I don't know. That's how I sort of felt. I was hoping for some confirmation with their first interaction, like he'd go like, I knew you were there, A.
I could smell you from the.
I smelled you coming off the elevator. But overall, you was happy with it, yeah?
I think you
was anticipating it for a long time.
I liked the film a lot. I really did enjoy it, and I think that even though it wasn't necessarily super true to the novel from what I've told you, I think that it was still a good film.
Yeah, so. I can understand the decisions that he made for it, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it enough. I'd like to have a few more days, sort of thinking in my head whether it's worth watching a second time or not. Currently, as of today, it's holding 7.8 on IMDb, which is good.
There's a good rating,
but it will drop because there's always that initial feeling towards it. I think, as I said, the how it looks really good. I really like the set design because that was proper sets that they built, like even things down to the coffins. I like the coffin designs where you see his mum and they put the death mask on the coffin. And on Rotten Tomatoes, the critics give it 86% and the audience 96%. Again, I expect that to drop.
Well, it's not officially out yet. It's only out in cinemas, you know. Like,
yeah, when it will come on Netflix, you'll have more of the audience sort of chiming in, and I think at home it might not resonate as well. Something about being in the cinema, seeing it on the big screen, and you think, wow, look at that ship and look at that castle. Oh, I loved the tower that he's given in. Was that in France? I think that was in France.
No, I think that was in Edinburgh.
No, it wasn't. I'm sure he
I don't. That's the thing as well. The locations in the novel are so much clearer because
it's written.
Well, yeah, obviously, but as in they talk about where they're going more rather than just go, oh, here's this tower, and like somehow.
Is that how they said it in the film?
Yeah.
No, but yeah, that tower, I thought, like cinematically, it looked really good, and I liked the sort of the sloping pit. Obviously, Christoph falls down.
His death was like.
Yeah, this is the other thing. Because of his death, and pretty much, he almost seems an inconsequential character. It's like he has no real effect on the proceedings. I thought the bit where he then goes, because it's revealed that he's got syphilis or whatever, and he says, I want you to put my brain into the monster, and Frankenstein's like, no, because your brain's all warped up now, and then he falls and dies. I thought, so what is it? We didn't really need to see him that much. It should have had a little bit more about that syphilis part before we got to it, and maybe he could have put something of him, and that could have led to, like, if he put a part of his brain in there, like if he agreed, he said, okay, fine, I will put your frontal lobe into the creature. And then you'd think, oh, well, maybe it was the syphilis which has affected the creature's brain.
That whole bit does not happen in the book. He doesn't fall to his death, and like it's not like his funding is like his own in the novel. It's not like he's not funded by some weird rich man because he's already got wealth. That's the kind of point. He's meant to already be wealthy.
It's probably it's something the director's come up with, thinking, I want more characters. I want someone like a soundboard, someone he can, like a kindred spirit he can talk to. So rather than just pointing at things or narrating it, he can say, look at this I've designed, and look at this, and what about if we do this? Because then it feels more real, rather than someone like Frankenstein going, I decided it wasn't right that I used these lobes, so I stuck this in and blah, blah, blah.
No, but I will say, the kindred spirit thing you're on about, that whole thing is meant to be with the captain on the boat.
Yeah,
that's meant, because that is a bit that comes. It does it well in the film. Like, it does often cut back to the present, or like it does in the novel. But it's meant, and it does have the same effect on the captain, where they just decide to go home in the end.
So that seemed a little bit cheesy when he made the announcement to the crew. I think they could have done it in a way where he's like, right, like the monsters push the ship out. Does that happen in the book? The monster push the ship?
I don't think he does. That's the thing. I'm trying to think back.
So they're making the monster a bit like a superhero in this.
Yeah.
But when the ship is out, I like that he decided to go home, but it could have been something he just said to the his first mate. He could have gone like, oh, so we continue to the North Pole, and he could have gone, no.
We're going home.
We're going home. And just left it at that, rather than go, we're going home! Anyway.
Yeah.
The budget it's 120 million.
Is that a big budget? I'm trying to think.
That's a fair sized budget.
Sorry,
for something which is a Netflix.
Well, yeah, but Netflix has got loads of money.
Which they'll need to have, because the thing is, they've released it for a short time in the cinema, but even on the posters it says, and then on Netflix on this date. So it's like they're saving money on the advertising. So they're both advertising its cinematic release and its television release. So yeah. Anyway, so who's the other big monster in cinema? Someone says Frankenstein.
Dracula.
Dracula. So next week we are going to review Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Ooh.
And for that, I'm going to travel to Transylvania and try and kill the beast.
Dun, dun, dun.
What's that? You know that's going to come out on the audio, so people go, what is that noise? Speak up, woman.
I said, dun, dun, dun. Well, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Please like, subscribe, and share. Bye-bye. And comment. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And with our competitively priced on-site cosmetic surgery, we can turn that Frankenstein you see in the mirror every morning into a Frankenfine.
What's up, fellas?